Down here at Trackhouse Racing with Stephen Doran, the crew chief of the number 88 car, driven by Shane Van Gisbergen, and they have those four race wins this year. They want to get a fifth one at least at the Roval, I'm sure, right? Left Coda on the table. That's unfortunate, but because they could have run the table. What do you think about Shane? Let's talk about Shane for a minute. That guy, he's incredible.
He is incredible. Not only at the road courses, we knew that going in, but he just keeps getting better at the ovals. The last 2 months have been really good anywhere we go. So excited to get to the playoffs and see what we can do.
I think he's got that innate talent on road courses from all of the experience he's had all of these years. And I asked him, kind of what you need to do to get better at the ovals. And I picked his brain about running those Legends cars at the summer shootout. And he talked about that all of these drivers he's racing against have that experience from when they were kids before they became adult race car drivers. How cool is it to see him putting in all of the effort, run the summer shootout, do everything he needs to do to get better at really the bread and butter of a NASCAR season?
Yeah, he's extremely dedicated to getting better at the ovals, and I think it shows. And like you said, he's willing to go above and beyond to get better. And I think some of that stuff really has helped. Going through all the restarts in those Legends cars, seems like it has translated. Our restarts have gotten way better the second half of the year. That was something I didn't realize until talking to him this year. Like, they didn't have restarts in those cars. It was more like Formula One, where you have an initial start, and that's really it for the day. So all of these restarts that we have were foreign to him. And I think we're at a point now where we're one of the better ones on restarts, which is pretty cool.
He has really climbed the ladder quickly. I mean, he came in and he wins that Chicago race, and that was kind of unexpected. And then they put him in the Xfinity car last year, and I think he learned a whole lot. But what has been your greatest learning curve this year that you talked about the restarts and all of that, but when you started at Daytona to now, what do you look back on and go, that was worth it?
Yeah, I think at the ovals, restarts are a big one. Firing off practice kind of goes along with that. Just having that speed off the truck and knowing what he needs in the race car, that sets you up for better qualifying, which is such a huge part of these weekends. That was probably our biggest gain. Initial speed off the truck, better qualifying effort, and then being in a better spot to start the race. And his feedback, knowing what he needs at the ovals, has grown a ton from the beginning of the year. Where at the road courses, he's very confident and knows exactly what he needs to go faster. It took him a bit to know really what he needed to go faster at the ovals.
I've heard him say that the difference between last year, with no offense to colleague racing, and this year is night and day. You're giving him such great cars that he can go out and work with. And I think a lot of it, he's talking about it from the road course perspective, because that's where he's winning. But also on the oval side, what do you do to prepare him the best car possible? What kind of mindset do you bring to it? What kind of work do you do with your guys who are doing the physical work out there to bring him a winning car?
It's down in the shop, it's just trying to get our aero better, constantly bringing more capable race cars to the racetrack. And on the setup side, we had no notebook to start the year. I had a small notebook from Zane. A lot of that stuff didn't translate to what he liked. So it was just kind of starting from square one, building a notebook of what he likes, the feel he likes through the corner. So yeah, it's been progress, but we've gotten to a point where I think we know what he needs at all the different tracks, and we started to show that we unload closer, race better. Good timing to do that too, with the playoffs starting this week.
How do you analyze the playoffs from an engineering perspective, from a crew chief perspective? What do you need to do to go round to round to get the best possible playoff finish for him?
Yeah, I think it's one step at a time. You look at the first round, we have a good track for us, his favorite track, Darlington first, so hope to just have a good solid day there. We have a small points buffer now. We'd love to build that a little bit. Go to Gateway next week, which we haven't been to yet, but I think it fits his driving style, so I hope we could have a good solid top 10 to 15 day there as well. And then my goal is to go into Bristol and not have to do a lot, because that was one of our tougher races in the spring. I'm sure we'll be better there, but I'd love to go there with not a ton of pressure to have to do something miraculous there.
What's your goal for the playoffs? Is it, do the best you can, don't screw up any, and whatever NASCAR world gives you get, or do you see a path to the Final Four?
There's for sure a path. I think if we can get to the second round, we have a race in there that we should be the favorite at. And then you look at the round of 8, it's kind of the biggest wild card round with Talladega and Martinsville in there. There's for sure a path. The first round, I think, is the toughest. We get through that, there's a better path. But to answer your original question, I think the round of 8 would be really good for our first year, and then build from that for next year.
Tell me about you, Stephen Doran. Where are you from? How did you get here?
Yeah, from Butler, Pennsylvania originally. Grew up around dirt racing. My dad's side of the family raced dirt modifieds growing up, so started young, going to the track. By 10 or 11 was working on the car, and then when I turned 16, I started to work for a different race team out of Ohio and got more seriously involved in like a career path of working on race cars. And then worked on dirt sprint cars like from 18 to 21, and moved to North Carolina at that point. Started at Petty Enterprise in Randleman, North Carolina. Pretty cool first place to work. You had the king there, Richard in his old shop. Pretty neat as a young kid to get to work around some of those people. And then, the next big team was Stuart Haas, and now I'm here at Trackhouse.
Nice. What job titles have you held over those years? What kind of different?
Yeah, so sprint car racing was a crew chief before I moved down, and then kind of started back at the bottom. My first job at Petty's was like setup mechanic on the setup plate, and then I went to do some car chief stuff along the way, and then into the engineering side, and then now crew chief. So got to learn both sides of it, the mechanical side and the engineering side, which I think is a benefit when you get to the crew chief level.
What do you do to make sure everybody on your team, specifically the 88 car, brings their best every day or every weekend or both, to make sure that, nothing holds the team back as far as, speed in the car and all of the stuff that it takes?
Yeah. Luckily, we have a really good group, and I don't have to really do much of that. We have a bunch of high-level racers that have done it at this level for a long time. So it makes my job easy from that standpoint. There's not much babysitting or maintenance that's involved. Like, all the guys know what needs to be done and do it without being asked or told. It's cool to have a team that's strong around you.
When you look at what Justin's built here in this building in the year or so before, as he built this team, how awe-inspiring is it to see what you guys have done? The 5 wins this year, a couple of wins last year, that crazy Atlanta finish that they had with Daniel, and all of the stuff that Ross has done. When you look at all of this coming together in just these few short years for this team, what goes through your mind?
It's pretty incredible what he's done in such a short amount of time. I think it's just a testament to him and his vision, his different way of looking at things. I know that's what drew me to this place initially. A few years before I signed up here was just seeing him speak about the sport and his visions. Like, it's just a little different than some of the old school teams that are in the sport. And he's hired the right people to bring a lot of those things to reality. And I think it's just the start. Like, we're just getting started. I think you see Trackhouse as a championship favorite in the next few years.
Certainly bringing in Connor next year to pair with Shane. It's going to be a road course powerhouse. You're going to have, Ross just keeps doing Ross things. It's exciting times.
Yeah, not just for road courses. Connor is great on the ovals as well, and Shane is getting there. So I think you're going to eventually see all 3 of them be a threat every week.
Stephen, thanks for joining me here. Great insight into what you're doing and what the team's doing down here at Trackhouse Racing. Look for them to make a run through the playoffs with Shane Van Gisbergen.